A question that I get hit a lot with that I want to answer for you guys today is, how do I bring up a lagging body part? Now, chances are we all, to some degree, consider we have a body part that falls behind in development compared to other muscle groups. First thing I want to look at is, why do we have the lagging muscle group, or muscle groups that we struggle to grow compared to others? Now, it could be for a variety of reasons. Injuries, they're a common one. They inhibit certain movements and the amount of weight or load that we can lift through certain muscle groups. Another is plain neglect. You may have spent months, even years, not hitting a particular muscle group very hard at all, because at the time, other muscle groups were more the focal point. Whatever the reason is for having the lagging body part in the first place, and you're now trying and struggling to bring that area up with little success, I can almost guarantee it's because you are not generating enough stimulus for change through that particular muscle group. You are not creating enough targeted stress and trauma to trigger the body's physiological responses to generate growth in that area. So what can be done about this? Good news is, there is a number of things we can do to really start to bring up the stubborn body part. The first thing you can do if you have a lagging body part is to first of all increase the weekly training frequency of that muscle group. Instead of the traditional once a week hit, work your training schedule so you can hit the lagging body part at least twice in a 7-day period. Look to hit it even more if you are able to structure the rest of your training without starting to neglect other areas. More important than training frequency is actually breaking down the exercise movements that's meant to be responsible for hitting the lagging body part, and closely looking at the muscle groups involved in the movement. We need to look closely at the exercise and ensure that it's actually our targeted muscle groups performing the work, and not a more dominant assisting muscle group that's taking a large percentage of the load and robbing us of the stimulus we're trying to create through the lagging body part. Let's break down an example exercise. A brilliant exercise when performed correctly for shoulder development, but one I so often see being performed with generous amounts of momentum that the shoulders are just along for the ride and not the load focus, is the good old dumbbell lateral raises. Now, before we break down the movement, remember something. Just because you can get the weight up doesn't necessarily mean that makes your form correct. If you're largely engaging other muscle groups and a generous amount of assisting momentum to get the dumbbells up, then I'm sorry guys, you're doing it wrong and robbing your shoulders of potential gains. Now, if we were to select a lighter weight, retract the shoulder blades, make a conscious point of relaxing the traps, and we ensure the dumbbells travel directly out to our sides and don't drift in front, the load through the delts would be so much more. It all comes down to altering the body position to lessen the involvement of other more dominant muscle groups, in this case the traps, and enhance the involvement of the targeted muscle.